As a big fan of both architecture and coziness, I've always wanted to visit Prague. Last year, I spent 3 days there around Easter, mostly just walking around and admiring the city, and I was definitely not disappointed. While I was there, I stayed in an apartment hotel in the Old Town, where my room was themed after Franz Kafka. There were all sorts of references to him around the room, and I thought it was a nice way to sort of remind me where I was. Prague is known for its beautiful historic Old Town, and right in the heart of it is the Old Town Square. What's really cool about the square is that it has all different styles of architecture layered together: medieval, Baroque, and Gothic. Since I was there just before Easter, they were setting up a market in the square with all these colorful decorations and stalls. I was especially interested in the astronomical clock. It has a dial that shows the position of the sun and moon, and overall it just has a sort of mystical vibe. Every hour there's a little show, and when I was there, tons of people gathered to watch. One of Prague's other famous monuments is Charles Bridge, a pedestrian bridge which connects the two sides of the city together. They also light it up beautifully at night. It was pretty lively with lots of people around, but there was still enough space to take a moment to look out over the water. I walked across the bridge to the other side of the city and then up to Prague Castle. I decided to just stick to the free areas rather than going inside. For me, the most interesting parts are the outer architecture and the scale of the buildings. Walking through the outer courtyards, I was able to really take in the majesty of the place. Český Krumlov is a day trip from Prague and something that felt like a must-do for me because of how pretty and cozy it seemed. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, mostly due to how intact the entire town is. There are examples of Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque style buildings all mixed together, and even the street layout is the same as it was in the Middle Ages. Český Krumlov Castle overlooks the river and the preserved medieval town below. It's been here since the 1200s, and although it changed hands many times, it was owned by the Rosenberg family for much of its history, which you can still see in the rose details around the castle. The name Krumlov comes from a word meaning something like crooked, and it refers to the bend in the river that wraps around the town. When you look down from the castle, you can really see why the bend in the river is such an identifying feature of the town. Český Krumlov also has a bit of an interesting modern history. It was part of a group of land that was transferred to Germany in 1938 without Czechoslovakia's consent, following an international agreement meant to avoid war. That agreement failed within months, which led to the German occupation of Czechoslovakia. Because the occupation began before the outbreak of World War II, and because the country was far from the war's major battlefronts, Czechoslovakia ended up escaping a lot of the damage seen in other parts of Europe. I spent the day just wandering around, going in and out of shops, and I loved just being able to walk around and enjoy it. It really felt like traveling back in time in a fairy tale way. At one point, I was searching for something a bit calmer to do and ended up going to a model railway museum called Kingdom of Railways. It's a bit off the beaten path, and I only found it because I was searching for something a little less touristy just to get away from the crowds, and also because I love transit and trains. The museum has about 600 square meters of model railway tracks, all based around real regions in Czechia. It's super detailed with a full day-night cycle and tons of little scenes happening that really make it feel alive. There's this person welding a pipe, a protest happening, a car crash, and even some kind of concert. They have 6 regions of the country represented at the moment and are actively building out more. Aside from the main diorama, they also have a few simulators where you can try out being a tram or bus driver. I don't even know how to drive a car, so I don't think I'm really cut out for this. I have no idea how there can be so many buttons. It was pretty empty while I was here, just me and then a few father and son duos, and I think everyone in there was equally in awe. I thought this place was so cool. It's so amazing how much attention to detail there is, and I'm honestly really surprised it isn't more popular. But maybe I'm biased because I just love trains so much. On my last day in Prague, I decided to head to Vyšehrad, which is a historic fortified castle. The walk here was really nice, and I loved walking around the fortified walls. There were actually very few people here, especially compared to the busyness of the old town. It felt really serene and cozy just hanging out here in the castle grounds, looking out at the city below. After so many busy places, this felt like a place where I could just sit and let everything settle. Overall, Prague felt less like a city you should rush through and more like one you should just wander around and take in. As someone who lives in North America, seeing all the beautiful old buildings is just such a treat, and I felt like I could really let myself be transported back in time.